Maya's thumb froze on the screen. She had been lazily scrolling through Facebook when the post stopped her cold. It was from Angela, Daniel's sister. A long, dramatic message about life's cruel turns and trusting God even in pain. Attached were photos of hospital bracelets. Maya's hospital bracelets. Her stomach twisted. No one was supposed to know. Not her co-workers. Not her church friends. Not Daniel's noisy family. Only Daniel. Within minutes, messages started flooding her phone. So sorry for your loss. Praying for you, sweetie. Stay strong. God has a plan. Maya felt her chest tighten. She didn't want their pity. She hadn't even told her own parents yet. And now everyone knew, through Angela of all people. Her hands trembled as she pushed open the door to Daniel's home office. He sat at his desk, tapping on his laptop, looking far too calm for a man who had just betrayed her. Why does your sister know? Maya's voice cracked, but the anger behind it was sharp. How could you tell her? Daniel glanced up, surprised. Tell her what? Don't play dumb, Daniel, she shouted, tossing her phone onto his desk. The Facebook post glared up at him, Angela's words dripping with fake sympathy. I told you in confidence. I told only you. Daniel rubbed his forehead. Maya, I didn't tell Angela. I just told Mom, to pray for us. She must have mentioned it. You what? Maya's voice was shaking now. You told your mother about this? About me? About something I wasn't ready to share? Daniel frowned like she was overreacting. I don't see why you're making it such a big deal. They're family. They care. They don't care, they gossip. Maya's heart pounded in her ears. This was our loss. Mine. And now the whole world knows because you can't keep your mouth shut. Daniel leaned back in his chair, looking irritated. You're too sensitive. Angela probably meant well. She was just trying to be supportive. Maya felt heat rising in her face. She wanted to scream, to cry, to break something. But instead she stared at him, searching for any trace of guilt. There was none. Then his phone buzzed on the desk. Daniel snatched it up quickly and flipped it face down without answering. Maya noticed. Her anger chilled into something quieter, heavier. This wasn't just carelessness. Something about the way he wouldn't meet her eyes made her stomach drop. What are you hiding, Daniel? She asked softly. He stood up, avoiding her gaze. I'm not hiding anything. You're upset, I get it. But this isn't the end of the world. Maya swallowed hard, her fingers curling into fists. Not the end of the world, but it felt like the beginning of something far worse. Grew up in a small Texas town, moved to the city for college, and thought life would finally become her own. That was Maya's dream. To escape the place where everybody knew everybody's business. She wanted freedom, privacy, and a chance to build her life on her own terms. That's when she met Daniel. He was everything a small-town girl thought she wanted. Confident, funny, and ambitious. He had plans bigger than Texas itself, and Maya was drawn to his energy. He came from a tight-knit family that seemed warm at first glance, the kind that called each other every day and showed up uninvited for dinner. Maya thought it was sweet at the beginning. She didn't realize how suffocating it could become. They married young, right after college. Maya believed love would be enough to carry them through anything. For a while it did. Daniel worked hard and made good money, while Maya focused on building her career slowly, carefully. But cracks began to show, not in public, never in front of his family, only behind closed doors. Angela, Daniel's sister, never made an effort to hide her dislike. She was the type who would hug you tightly in front of others, then whisper something cruel about your outfit the moment they left. To everyone else, Angela was sweet and generous. To Maya, she was sharp edges wrapped in fake smiles. Every family dinner felt like walking through a field of thorns, waiting for the next jab. After 2 painful miscarriages, Maya learned to keep her life locked up tight. She hated feeling exposed, hated the way people looked at her with that sad tilt of their heads. She wanted space to grieve without the weight of other people's opinions. But Daniel was different. He shared everything with his mother, his sister, anyone who would listen. It's just family, he always said when Maya begged him to stop. They care about us. To Maya, it didn't feel like care. It felt like surveillance. The more she tried to set boundaries, the more Daniel ignored them. He made most of the money, and he reminded her of that when they argued. Bills, investments, even her personal expenses. He held it all in his hands. When Maya complained, he called her too sensitive. If she cried, he accused her of being dramatic. He was charming to everyone else, but with her, his words carried a quiet weight that told her who really had the power in their marriage. Maya loved him once. Maybe she still did, but love had begun to feel like a cage. She felt small in her own home, in her own life. And now, after Angela's Facebook post about her miscarriage, Maya realized just how fragile her world really was. She had lost more than a pregnancy. She was losing her dignity, piece by piece, as her private pain became community gossip. In a place where news spread faster than wind, Maya was being stripped bare, not just by Angela's cruel sympathy, but by Daniel's refusal to protect her. And deep down, something told her this wasn't just about family gossip. Something else was wrong. Something bigger was hiding in the shadows. Maya receives a DM from an unknown woman. "You deserve to know the truth about your husband." Her hands froze above the phone. Under the message was a blurry photo. Daniel, smiling, holding a little boy's hand. Beside him was a woman carrying a baby girl. They looked like a family at the park. Her husband. Her Daniel. At first, Maya laughed. A sharp, shaky laugh that didn't sound like her. This had to be a mistake. Some jealous stranger. Someone trying to cause trouble. Daniel was careless sometimes, but cheating? No. That wasn't possible. When he came home later that night, she held out the phone. "Explain this," she said, trying to keep her voice calm. Daniel glanced at the picture and shrugged. "That's a co-worker's family. I told you we had a team picnic last month. You never told me about kids," Maya said. "Because they're not mine," he snapped. "Seriously, Maya? You're believing some random message over me?" Her heart pounded. "Why would someone send me this?" "Because people are crazy," Daniel said, tossing his jacket on the chair. "You really need to stop letting strangers get into your head. You're overreacting again." The word again stung more than she expected. It was the same word he used whenever she caught him in a lie, whenever she asked for the truth about something small. He always made her feel like the problem. That night, the woman sent another message, this time a voice note. Maya hesitated before pressing play. "I'm sorry," the voice said, breaking with tears. "I thought you knew. I've been with Daniel for 6 years. The kids are his. He promised me he'd leave you, but he never did. I couldn't keep living in the dark anymore." Maya's stomach turned. Her whole body felt cold. 6 years. Longer than their marriage. The timeline didn't even make sense. Or maybe it made too much sense. All those business trips. The late nights. The phone calls he always took outside. But she didn't scream. She didn't throw things or confront him right away. Instead, she sat on the edge of her bed, staring at her phone. If this was true, she needed proof. Real proof. Not just blurry photos and a stranger's voice. In the morning, Daniel kissed her cheek like nothing had happened. "Don't stress yourself, babe," he said lightly. "Social media is full of crazy people." He didn't notice how stiff she was, how she didn't meet his eyes. Or maybe he noticed and didn't care. Inside, Maya's heart was no longer breaking. It was hardening. She would not let Daniel turn this on her. Not this time. She would find out the truth. And when she did, she would not cry in private while Angela and his mother whispered behind her back. No, this time the whole world would know who Daniel really was. And Maya would be the one to show them. Maya starts tracking Daniel's schedule. She writes down every late night, every business trip, every time he says he has to work through dinner. She stops asking where he's going and simply watches quietly. His stories never line up. One night he says he's in Houston, but she sees a charge on the credit card from a diner in Dallas. Another time, he claims he's working late at the office, but when she calls, his assistant says he left hours ago. The silence between them grows heavy. Daniel doesn't notice, or maybe he just doesn't care. When Maya does speak, he brushes her off like she's a child. "Stop worrying so much," he says, always with that easy smile that once charmed her. Things get worse with Angela. At family dinners, she makes comments with a sweet tone but sharp meaning. "No matter what happens," Angela says one evening, "Daniel will always take care of his children." Maya freezes, fork halfway to her mouth. Angela's eyes linger a second too long, her smile a little too knowing. That's when Maya realizes, they all know. His whole family. They've been protecting his secret, pretending nothing is wrong while she's left in the dark. Maya feels herself slipping away from her friends, too. Ever since Angela's Facebook post about the miscarriage, people treat her differently. They pity her. They send her flowers, Bible verses, and awkward hugs. But nobody knows what's really happening. Nobody knows her husband might have a second family. Maya feels invisible, like a ghost in her own life. She decides to stop guessing and start proving. She calls a friend who knows someone, a cousin who works as a private investigator. He agrees to look into Daniel quietly. Within a week, Maya has the truth in her hands. Pictures of Daniel at a woman's house. Pictures of him walking children to school. Copies of birth records, and even a paternity test listing him as the father. The woman wasn't lying. The kids were his. Maya sits alone in the kitchen staring at the envelope full of evidence. Her hands are shaking, but not from surprise. She already knew in her heart. Now she has proof. A storm of feelings hits her all at once. Anger so sharp it burns. Grief so heavy she can hardly breathe. She wants to scream at him, throw everything in his face, watch his world fall apart like hers has. But another part of her just feels tired. Tired of the lies. Tired of fighting to be heard. Tired of loving a man who treats her like she's nothing. Late at night, while Daniel sleeps peacefully beside her, Maya stares at the ceiling. She remembers the girl who married him, the girl who believed in forever. That girl is gone now, replaced by someone harder, someone who wants justice more than love. Maya makes a decision in the darkness. She won't cry in secret. She won't let Daniel or his family humiliate her again. When she strikes, it will be public, and it will be final. But she will do it on her terms, not in anger, not in haste. For now, she smiles when Daniel kisses her in the morning. She listens when Angela makes her sly comments. She nods when his mother talks about how lucky Maya is to have Daniel. Inside, she's already planning how to burn their perfect little world to the ground. On Angela's birthday, the whole family gathered in a private room at an expensive restaurant. The table glittered with candles and gold plates, everyone dressed in their best. Angela loved big shows, and Daniel's family never missed a chance to celebrate themselves. Maya sat quietly through the first hour, sipping water, smiling when people looked her way. Inside, her heart beat hard and steady. She had rehearsed this moment over and over. No one suspected a thing. Daniel was laughing too loudly, pretending everything was perfect. Angela was glowing in her red dress, enjoying the attention, making little digs at Maya between bites of steak. "Daniel," she said sweetly, "you always know how to take care of your family. Some men wouldn't go this far for their loved ones." Her eyes lingered on Maya just long enough to make the meaning clear. When the cake was brought out and everyone raised their glasses, Maya stood up. "Before we toast," she said, her voice calm, "I'd like to say something." The room quieted. Angela looked curious but pleased. She always enjoyed being the center of attention. Maya smiled. "Angela, thank you. You've taught me something important this year, about boundaries, about how families should respect each other's privacy." Her voice stayed even, almost warm. "And since privacy isn't something we seem to value in this family, I thought I'd share a few things of my own." She pressed a key on her laptop. The restaurant's big screen flickered to life. At first, the picture was blurry. Daniel standing in front of a small house, holding a little boy's hand. Then another picture appeared. Daniel with a baby girl on his shoulders. A woman standing beside him, smiling. The room went silent. Someone's fork clattered against a plate. Angela's face drained of color. Daniel's mother frowned, confused, looking from the screen to her son. "What is this?" she demanded. Daniel lunged for the laptop. "Turn that off," he shouted. But Maya stepped back, holding it out of reach. "Not yet," she said firmly. Her voice didn't shake. She had waited too long to finally be heard. Photo after photo appeared, school records, paternity test results, everything the investigator had found. Daniel's name in black and white, his signature, his secret life displayed in front of the very people who helped him hide it. Angela whispered, "Oh my God." But Maya cut her off. "Don't act surprised," Maya said, her calm voice cutting through the tension. "You knew. You've all known." She opened a voice note on her phone and let it play through the speakers. The woman's voice filled the room, trembling and tearful. "I've been with Daniel for 6 years. The kids are his." I thought Maya already knew. Daniel's mother shot to her feet. "Daniel. Tell me this isn't true. Daniel tried to speak, but his words came out in angry fragments. It's not, Maya, stop this. He reached for her arm, but Maya pulled away. I'm just doing what Angela taught me, Maya said, turning to face his sister. Since she had no problem posting my miscarriage on Facebook, I thought the family deserved to know about Daniel's children too. All of them. Angela's lip trembled. For once, she had no clever words. Daniel's face twisted with fury. You're humiliating yourself, he snarled. No, Maya said coldly. I'm telling the truth, something you've never had the courage to do. And then the final blow. As everyone shouted, as Daniel's mother demanded answers and Angela covered her face, Maya calmly opened her phone, went to Facebook, and posted everything. Every picture, every document, on the same thread where Angela had written about the miscarriage. Her caption was short and sharp. Since privacy isn't respected here, let's all be honest. The notification pinged on several phones around the table. A few gasps went up as people saw the post go live. Daniel lunged for her again, but his own father blocked his way. Sit down, his father barked. We're not doing this here. Maya closed her laptop, slipped her phone into her bag, and looked around the table one last time. Angela pale and shaking. Daniel's mother screaming at her son. Daniel himself, red with rage, still trying to talk his way out of it. For the first time in years, Maya felt completely calm. The truth was out. There was nothing left for him to twist, no lie he could hide behind. She picked up her purse, looked Daniel in the eye, and said softly, "Happy birthday, Angela." Then she walked out, leaving the family to tear itself apart behind her. Daniel is kicked out of the house the very next day. He shouts, threatens, even begs, but Maya does not open the door for him again. His clothes are packed in boxes on the porch. Neighbors watch quietly as Daniel drives away in anger. Word spreads fast. Everyone in the community has seen Maya's Facebook post. Angela disappears from social media. The woman who loved attention suddenly has nothing to say. Daniel's mother stops calling Maya. Friends who once pitied her now look at her with wide eyes, unsure what to say. People whisper in the grocery store and at church, but Maya walks with her head high. For the first time in years, she feels no shame, only freedom. The next week, Maya meets a divorce lawyer. The lawyer is calm, professional, and reassuring. You have all the proof you need, she says, looking over the investigator's documents. We'll make sure you keep the house. He'll have to pay support. He can't walk away from this. It feels strange to hear someone fighting for her, when Daniel spent years dismissing her feelings. When the papers are filed, Maya feels lighter, like she's finally taking control of her life. But freedom doesn't erase pain. At night, the silence of the house feels heavy. She misses the man she thought Daniel was, the man she married young, the man she trusted with her whole heart. She also grieves the baby she lost, a child who will never know her arms. Maya starts therapy. At first, it's awkward. She isn't used to talking about herself without someone telling her she's overreacting. But slowly, she learns to let it out. The anger, the sadness, the confusion. Her therapist tells her it's normal to feel two things at once: rage at Daniel and heartbreak for the life they shared. Healing isn't quick, but each session feels like breathing fresh air after years underwater. She begins reconnecting with old friends. People she stopped seeing because Daniel didn't like them or because she felt too tired to explain her marriage. They meet for coffee, they laugh, they tell her she looks different, stronger. For the first time in years, she feels seen for who she really is, not for the role someone else assigned her. The community keeps buzzing, but Maya doesn't care. She stops checking who's talking about her. She learns that dignity doesn't come from what people think. It comes from knowing your own worth. Little by little, she sets boundaries. She blocks numbers, ignores messages that try to guilt her into forgiving for the sake of family. She learns to say no without explaining herself. It feels powerful, like building a wall to keep the wrong people out and the right people close. Most of all, she learns to speak her truth without fear. She stops apologizing for her feelings, stops hiding her pain to make others comfortable. The woman who once whispered in the shadows now stands tall in the light. By the time the divorce is finalized, Maya no longer feels broken. She still has scars, from the miscarriage, from Daniel's betrayal, from years of being silenced. But those scars no longer define her. They are proof she survived, Maya chooses herself now. And in that choice, she finds strength she never knew she had. Months later, Maya posts a simple photo. Her smiling at a coffee shop with the caption, "Privacy is peace." The picture isn't dramatic. No fancy clothes, no expensive setting. Just Maya, holding a warm cup of coffee, sunlight on her face. Yet it says everything. The comments pour in quickly. "You look amazing. So happy for you. Stay strong, girl." Some people ask questions about Daniel. Others try to guess if she's dating someone new. Maya doesn't reply to any of them. She doesn't need to explain her life anymore. She scrolls through the messages, smiling softly, then puts her phone face down. There's no rush to answer, no need to perform for anyone. For the first time in a long time, she feels light, not because everything is perfect, but because she's no longer carrying someone else's lies. The house is quiet now, but it no longer feels lonely. Therapy has helped her face the grief she once tried to hide. The miscarriage still hurts and Daniel's betrayal still stings, but the pain no longer controls her. She can sit with it, breathe through it, and keep moving forward. Friends who stayed by her side have become closer than ever. They don't ask for details she doesn't want to share. They meet her where she is, with laughter, with kindness, with no judgment. Slowly, Maya has built a circle of people who value her for who she truly is. Daniel is gone from her life. His sister Angela has vanished from social media, too embarrassed to face the world. The community that once gossiped about Maya now respects her silence. She has nothing to prove to them. One morning, as she waters the flowers in her yard, she realizes she isn't waiting for an apology anymore. She isn't even waiting for closure. She already has it. Not from Daniel, but from herself. Maya has learned that some wounds never fully close. But you don't have to let the wrong hands keep them open. Hey loves, thanks for sticking around till the end. Don't forget to like, drop a comment, and hit that subscribe button. See you next time.